You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal right here in Udupi. This is where the controversy kicked off. I'm standing right by the Udupi Government PU College, which seems like has started off in a very calm manner this morning. Many of the girls who were wearing the hijab were allowed to come into the campus, take it off in a separate classroom and then attend classes. So in Udupi, largely the situation has been calm. The hearing will begin at 2:30 p.m. again by the Karnataka High Court. But in the meanwhile, we're seeing a showdown over this hijab controversy that's spilling over to several other states. PFI now is all set to hold a Save the Republic march in Rajasthan's Kota. They've been given permission to carry out this massive elaborate march. In fact, the organization has been accused of fueling the hijab protests in Karnataka. Meanwhile, BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla took to Twitter saying that Congress is the head of Tukde gang. He's also added that an organization like PFI, which has been designated a hate organization by the NIA, has been allowed to take out a march in the Congress-ruled state of Rajasthan. Now, Shehzad Poonawalla has also added that the nation has already seen a PFI and SDPI alliance in Karnataka in the past. It is a political party alliance that we've already seen along this coastal belt of Karnataka. Now, yesterday we have seen posters of PFI promoting the same protest march. In fact, they pasted that poster right outside an Urdu school in Karnataka, Shimoga. After the news was shown on our channel on India Today, the same was taken down quickly by school authorities. Now, let's take a listen. Reactions coming in on this.
Despite a plethora of charges and a long list of extremist activities that the PFI has indulged in, the Congress party continues to provide patronage and legitimacy to the Popular Front of India. कांग्रेस का हाथ हमेशा टुकड़े टुकड़े करने वाले गैंग के साथ क्यों होता है? This is not the first time that the Congress party is legitimizing such elements.
All right, now I'm going to quickly cut across to our reporters on ground who've been extensively tracking these developments. Nolan Pinto joining us from Shimoga. We also have Mustafa from Udupi. Nolan, I'll come across to you. We know that there was a lot of commotion at one of the DVS colleges in the place you're at, and many girls wearing the hijab were not allowed inside. All right, I'm going to cut across to Mustafa. In the meanwhile, we are patching Nolan's connection. Mustafa, in Udupi, we've seen largely a good start to the day. Much of the commotion that was seen yesterday when colleges opened, today seemed like it was settled.
Yes, of course, it looks like the things are settling down and it's streamlined, because yesterday was the day when colleges opened up in Karnataka. There were visuals where some students were removing their burqa or hijab outside the college premises. There were visuals that some students are allowed inside the campus. They were asked to remove and then go to the class. So we can understand that there is some process which is being now formed and formulated. Remember that simultaneously, as the Karnataka High Court is hearing this entire case on day-to-day basis, the Karnataka government is pointing towards the High Court, saying that the norms and guidelines and SOPs on hijab will be formed after the final verdict comes in. There was some, the things were not clear for the students and their parents for starting few days, where we saw visuals of students were asked to remove their hijab or burqa outside the gate. But now we are getting to see that there is some arrangements being made inside the campus premises, so such humiliating visuals don't come out. So these are things which we can say that process is getting streamlined as of now in Udupi. If we see, because section 144 was applied in many other districts also, there has been no huge protest or gathering of any student unions or of the students. And today, in fact, in Udupi, it has been largely peaceful, and those students who wanted to appear for the exams without hijab have come and they have attended the colleges and schools. So things the government would be hoping will remain like this. Once the High Court's final order comes in, we'll have to wait and see how the student unions and the girls who had petitioned the High Court react to it. Back to you.
Right, Mustafa, this is of course a judgment that if and when it comes out is going to be keenly watched. The entire deliberations has been very closely watched by people all across the country. It's a verdict that is awaited. In the meanwhile, we're looking at a showdown that's taken place in many parts of Karnataka over the hijab ban inside educational institution. It continues for the 5th consecutive day. While Udupi largely remains calm, we're seeing a row that's taking place in other parts of Karnataka. Now, amid this row over hijab, class 12 practical exams have now been postponed in one of the Udupi colleges. On Wednesday, colleges opened up across Karnataka, but despite the High Court orders, we saw standoff between students and college authorities because of much of the confusion that prevailed over which colleges and which schools must implement the High Court order and which shouldn't. Students, of course, those who always worn the hijab, not willing to take off the hijab before entering their classrooms. Yesterday's hearing, though, petitioners argued that display of religion through attire shows diversity and singling out hijab violates fundamental rights. Prohibitory orders remain intact near colleges across Karnataka. Karnataka government has also imposed Section 144 in several districts. Now, let me quickly cut across to Nolan Pinto, who's on ground in Shivamogga, right in front of DVS College, where we saw much of the commotion today. Let's take a look.
Well, we're now outside the DVS campus. Yesterday, pre-university students were not allowed to walk inside with their hijab. They were sent out. The same has happened today as well. In fact, today, they were in the campus, most of the students right over there. They had a discussion with the authorities to allow them, considering the fact that exams are just around the corner. But the authorities stated that without proper uniform, that is, they are not allowed to wear a hijab, they'll be allowed inside. So as of now, all these students, some 30 odd, have come outside here. Police are present outside this particular institution as of now. Many of the parents are also present over here. The police are asking people to actually leave this place, keeping in mind that Section 144 has been imposed, which means no congregation of people in the vicinity of educational institutions for at least 200 meters will not be allowed.
Suddenly, this situation, why are you coming? I don't know, sir.
So when you went inside over there now, I see a lot of the students, your friends are all standing and talking to the authorities. What's the conversation?
Sir, my friend is telling, what is this? So I am very problem, sir. Because 2 years is going to Corona.
Okay.
Sir, suddenly is coming to hijab problem. What are you doing to me? ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಕ್ಕು ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಸರ್? 4 ಇಂಚಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ದು ಕೊರೋನಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6 ಅಡಿ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ? I want education also, hijab also.
Right, now we know that there are several reactions coming in from the political circles. A political slugfest over this hijab controversy has exploded. Let's hear it.
हिंदू इतना श्रेष्ठ, इतना उच्च विचारधारा का, इतना संस्कारित होता है कि हमें कहीं भी हिजाब पहनने की जरूरत नहीं है ना? हाँ, हिजाब उनको पहनना है जिनको अपने घर में ही परेशानी है, उनके घर में ही वो संकट में है, उनके घर में ही वो खतरे में है, उनके घर में ही उनकी शील और मर्यादा खतरे में है, इसलिए उनको घर में भी हिजाब पहनना चाहिए। और बाहर तो हिंदू समाज जहाँ निकलता है तो वहाँ पहनने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, और जहाँ ज्ञान प्राप्त होता है, जहाँ हम अध्ययन करते हैं, वहाँ तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है।
हिजाब एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट में जाए, ऐसा तो बात ही नहीं हो सकता है। किसलिए नबी जी ने बता के गया है कि आप साइना में भी जाओ पढ़ने के लिए, मतलब आप साइना का कानून का हिसाब से चलो या परदेश विदेश का कानून का हिसाब से चलो, बट फिर भी आप शिक्षा ले लो, बिकॉज एक मुसलमान का सबसे बड़ा काम है शिक्षा। अभी लोगों का ये पूरा माहौल बना दिया कि शिक्षा से इम्पोर्टेंट हिजाब है।
अलग अलग मजहब के लोग रहते हैं, अलग अलग लिबास पहनते हैं, अलग अलग खाने खाते हैं, मगर बीजेपी का ये जो एक नया गोडसे का हिंदुस्तान बना चाहते हैं, जहां पर वो कहते हैं एक जैसे कपड़े पहनो, सर पे टोपी मत लगाओ, हिजाब मत करो, मीट मत खाओ, ये खाओ वो खाओ, तो ये जबान बोलो, खाली एक ही जबान बोलो, ये तो हिंदुस्तान नहीं है, ये तो गांधी का हिंदुस्तान नहीं है। और मुझे जहां तक लगता है आखिरकार इस मुल्क के लोग जाग जाएंगे और इस गांधी के हिंदुस्तान को गोडसे का हिंदुस्तान बनने नहीं देंगे। ये जो हिजाब की बात है, इसमें यह भी एक साजिश है कि हमारी बच्चियों को तालीम से दूर रखने की कोशिश की जा रही है। मगर मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हमारी बच्चियाँ बड़ी अक्लमंद है, बड़ी बहादुर है, वो अपनी तालीम का नुकसान नहीं होने देंगी।
कौन क्या पहनेगा क्या नहीं पहनेगा इसका फैसला बीजेपी नहीं कर सकती है। अगर कोई लड़की हिजाब पहनती है तो ये उसका हक है और पूरी दुनिया में इसकी बदनामगी हो रही है। OIC जो मुस्लिम कंट्रीज का संगठन है उसने सख्ती के साथ इसको कंडम किया और यूनाइटेड नेशंस को लिखा है। मुझे नहीं मालूम कि प्रधानमंत्री क्यों खामोश तमाशाई बने हुए हैं। एक तरफ वो भारत की इज्जत की बात करते हैं, यहाँ पे भारत की इज्जत के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है।
Multiple colleges in Karnataka saw a repeat of scenes which have exposed the deep divide over hijab. Many colleges imposed the High Court mandated uniform for students, which bars donning hijab and saffron scarves. Only to witness serious backlash from students in hijab and adamant parents.
This is not rules. What they are doing there?
What are they telling you?
They are telling that don't wear hijab and burqa. What it means?
Earlier you could come with a hijab inside. Earlier were they allowing you to wear?
Yes.
She said that we are not coming over here to do anything wrong. We're just students. The college allowed us, gave us permission to wear a hijab. So why are they stopping us now? The authorities, in fact, what they tell us is that considering what really happened in the past few days, where girls were allowed to wear their hijab inside, and then you had boys wearing the saffron shawl, the institution did not want or does not want to take any sort of chances. And that's one of the reasons why they're not allowing them to wear any sort of religious attire, that is a hijab.
In Vijaypura, the arguments turned even more heated.
Court order very clearly says we make it clear that this order is confined to such institutions wherein the college development committee have prescribed the student dress code uniform. If you have allowed, how are you not allowing now? What is it? What is this? No. If you have allowed before, why is it different? If you were allowing now, how is it different?
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿ ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ
ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ. Do you think the future of these students are not hampered? Isn't the future of these students not hampered?
Allahu Akbar became a rallying cry for these students in Tumakuru. Students in hijab resorting to sloganeering in Chikamagaluru to back their right to don the Islamic head covering. But many in hijab were turned away. In Hubali, parents confronted cops after their children in hijab were stopped from entering school. India Today also uncovered a PFI link to some of the protests. A PFI poster rallying students for the hijab stir was removed after our report. With Nabila Jamal in Udupi and Nolan Pinto in Shivamoga, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Amrit Shanoy, who's the president of Sahabalwe Udupi Peace Committee. In fact, in Udupi, because of the kind of commotion, and since this is the communal hotbed, it's very important to try and maintain peace and harmony, consciously make efforts to appeal to the population here not to clash over issues like this. Amrit, thank you very much for joining us. You've been initiating a lot of peace meetings in Udupi. This is a very sensitive and a volatile region, and a situation like this can really spark off a communal commotion and tension in just a matter of minutes. How do you look at this entire scene unfold?
Yeah, thank you for giving this opportunity. I am talking from Udupi, and I am the one who got involved in this issue from day one. Actually, those girls where they had no permission to wear hijab, very decently they gave one representation to the management committee to allow them with the hijab. All these years in that college, hijab was not allowed. At the same time, almost in all other colleges, hijab, burqas were allowed. Right now also there are private institutions in Udupi, Manipal where burqa hijabs were allowed. Still it is allowed. But these girls, they were very decent enough to give the representation for their constitutional right in decent manner. When management committee denied their application or request, these girls went to the court. In fact, I or my delegation only suggested and helped them to go to the court. Till then, situation was very calm. In Udupi, Udupi is the most peaceful place. Udupi is famous for communal harmony. But all of a sudden, before the hearing in the court, in some other colleges, like 30 kilometers from Udupi town, there is a Kundapur, then Baindur, Basrur, then next day in Udupi, MGM. Boys keep the saffron shawl. Saffron was not a part of their uniform, and they came with the saffron shawl. They were literally doing kind of, heckling to those girls on, kind of putting pressure, and they were totally behaving like uncultured.
We saw that situation unfold, Amrit. Right, we saw that situation unfold, Amrit. But the question here is why are students being stopped right outside gates? What happened to college managements which were earlier allowing? You just said that some of the colleges were earlier allowing. How have they now suddenly changed their mind? Is there a lack of direction? There's no communication between the government authorities and these colleges. Is there a panic situation that you see that's gripped many parts of Udupi and other parts of Karnataka too now?
Not a panic situation, but very, pathetic. It's very unfortunate to see the girls, they were being heckled by media people. The principal is very adamant, not allowing them inside. See, court order is there. Court order, there are few points. It is subject to your interpretation. And where there is no objection from the other girls, where there is no objection from the other boys, and where there is no circular from the government. Court order is a court order, but this principal did not get anything from the government. Government should issue a circular based on the court order. But forget about all these things. What is the...
So basically no circular, no communication from the government to these colleges, which is why we are seeing a lot of confusion. And colleges and schools want to remain out of this controversy. Therefore, they are saying a blanket ban on hijab until the court's verdict is out. We saw that. A quick word on the communal harmony here in Udupi region where this entire issue kicked off. What is the situation and the relation between Hindu and Muslims here largely? Are they in general... good with each other? Is that how you all have lived here all along? Just an insight into what's the background of Udupi that way.
Yeah, sorry, your voice is not very clear, but still I got your question. I born in Udupi and I brought up in Udupi. Actually, Udupi, we had one Haji Abdullah. He is the founder of Corporation Bank. Now it is merged with the Union Bank of India. He was very rich. And in Udupi, Krishna Temple and 8 mutts is also there, which is very famous. In those days when Krishna Temple went under the crisis, Haji Abdullah supplied oil and this Karpura to carry on this Lakshadipotsav. And there are many instances in Udupi, South Canara where that's, communal harmony.
Right. Yeah. So we got that point, Amrit. Shenoy, thank you very much. And thank you very much for, in fact, initiating several peace meetings and trying to maintain harmony and peace in a very beautiful town like Udupi. It's called a temple town, but the kind of harmony we see between different communities here is commendable, and we don't want to ruin that, the fabric of this town as yet. Thank you very much, Amrit, for joining us with those details. Now, I'm going to quickly cut to the assembly in Karnataka, where we saw massive ruckus over Karnataka Minister K.S. Ishwarappa, where he said that a saffron flag will one day replace the tricolour. This, of course, this comment has been used as ammunition by the Congress party, the opposition there. Karnataka Congress has now threatened to boycott the assembly session in both houses if at all the BJP minister Ishwarappa is not sacked at the earliest. Now, there was a lot of commotion inside the well of the House. In fact, Congress has demanded that Ishwarappa gives out his resignation for his comment on saffron flag replacing the tricolour. Let's take a look at this detailed report.
ಕಟ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ನಗ್ತಿದ್ರು ಹೌದಾ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಹಾಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು 100 ವರ್ಷನೋ 200 ವರ್ಷನೋ 500 ವರ್ಷ ನಂತರ ಭಗವತ್ ಧ್ವಜವೇ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಧ್ವಜ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ.
It all started with this shocker. Karnataka Minister Ishwarappa said the saffron flag may replace the tricolour in the future. He was reacting to D.K. Shivakumar's allegations that anti-hijab protesters had replaced the tricolour with a saffron flag at a government college. What followed was an ultimatum from the Karnataka Congress. Congress has threatened to boycott the assembly sessions in both houses if Ishwarappa is not sacked.
We have to protect the interest of the national flag and the country's image. A case has to be registered. The governor who has given a oath to the minister and the chief minister should have immediately taken the resignation or dismissed him from the government. And the officers concerned should have filed a sedition case.
The State Assembly witnessed high drama on Wednesday. The Congress staged a protest against the BJP minister holding the tricolour inside the well of the House. Siddaramaiah also moved an adjournment motion against Ishwarappa, which was rejected in both houses.
Indian Penal Code nallu kuda navu ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಧ್ವಜಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗೌರವ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗೌರವ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗೀತೆಗೆ ಅಗೌರವ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ದೇಶದ್ರೋಹದ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಸೆಡಿಷನ್. ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಈಶ್ವರಪ್ಪನವರನ್ನ ಮಂತ್ರಿಮಂಡಲದಿಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು.
The BJP leader meanwhile remains defiant. The minister in fact has justified his stand.
ಹಿಂದುತ್ವದ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೂ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಚರ್ಚೆಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಭಗವದ್ ಧ್ವಜದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಭಗವದ್ ಧ್ವಜ ಇನ್ನು 100 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೋ 200 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೋ 500 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೋ ಕೆಂಪು ಕೋಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾರಬಹುದು, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಅವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ನೀವೇ.
Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has backed his minister and accused the Congress of violating the flag code.
ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಈಶ್ವರಪ್ಪನವರು ಬಹಳ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟೀಕರಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಕೆಂಪು ಕೋಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನು 300, 400, 500 ವರ್ಷದ ನಂತರ ಆದರೆ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಾವು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ್ರೋಹಿಗಳಂತ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಆಯ್ದ ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸುವ ಸದನಕ್ಕೆ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲವೇ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಕಾನೂನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಈಶ್ವರಪ್ಪನವರ ಹೇಳಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಾನೂನು ಉಲ್ಲಂಘನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಹಳ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿದೆ.
While the BJP is backing Ishwarappa to the hilt, the opposition claims the minister has insulted the national flag, and the face-off is far from over. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, India Today has been the first and at the forefront of bringing you every single detail and layer of this story. As the hijab controversy only escalates, it's an appeal from our end to maintain peace and calm until the High Court's verdict is out. That would take a few days, but here we're looking at a direction that should hopefully be coming out from the Karnataka government, only to avoid this commotion that's currently taking place in several colleges. On that note, thank you very much for watching.